Welcome back to the channel. Today, we're diving into the story of the Lincoln Wheat Penny, one of the most iconic coins in American history. Minted from 1909 to 1958, these pennies have become collector favorites for their rich history, classic design, and surprising value. From rare dates to mint errors, some of these small copper coins are worth far more than 1 cent. Let's take a closer look at what makes the Lincoln Wheat Penny so special. Lincoln Wheat Penny, without a mint mark, was minted in Philadelphia. This coin is part of the long-running Lincoln cent series. First issued in 1909, the obverse features the profile of Abraham Lincoln, designed by Victor D. Brenner, and the reverse shows two wheat ears, one on each side, with the words 1 cent and United States of America in the center. Above the denomination is the phrase E pluribus unum. In a coin like yours from 1930 and in bad condition, the details on both the obverse and reverse may be significantly worn. On the obverse, Lincoln's facial features, especially his jawline and hair, may be smoothed out, and the word liberty, or the date, may be partially faint or missing due to circulation wear. The rim might be weak or uneven in spots, and scratches or discoloration can appear from handling, oxidation, or environmental exposure over time. On the reverse, the wheat stalks can be flattened, and the lettering may be soft or partially worn off. In a coin this age and condition, any shine or luster is usually gone, replaced with a dull, dark surface. There might also be corrosion spots, pits, or areas where dirt or grime has settled in the crevices. Despite being in bad condition, this coin still holds numismatic and historical value. It represents a piece of early 20th century American history and a continuation of the wheat penny design, which is popular among collectors. While not rare, and its monetary value in poor condition is minimal, usually just a few cents above face value, it can still be a useful coin in a collection, especially for those completing date runs or using low-grade examples to teach or share the hobby, even in a worn state. This 1930 wheat penny stands as a reminder of the Great Depression era, in which it circulated, when every cent had significance. It is a tangible connection to the past, and it still deserves a place in a historical or educational coin set. Verse, Lincoln's facial features, especially his jawline and hair, may be smoothed out, and the word liberty, or the date, may be partially faint or missing due to circulation wear. The rim might be weak or uneven in spots, and scratches or discoloration can appear from handling, oxidation, or environmental exposure over time. On the reverse, the wheat stalks can be flattened, and the lettering may be soft or partially worn off. In a coin this age and condition, any shine or luster is usually gone, replaced with a dull, dark surface. There might also be corrosion spots, pits, or areas where dirt or grime has settled in the crevices. Despite being in bad condition, this coin still holds numismatic and historical value. It represents a piece of early 20th century American history and a continuation of the wheat penny design, which is popular among collectors.
Next up we have
the 1937 Lincoln Wheat Penny, without a mint mark, was minted in Philadelphia and is part of the long-running wheat cent series that spanned from 1909 to 1958. The obverse features the classic portrait of President Abraham Lincoln, facing right, designed by Victor David Brenner. The reverse bears two stylized wheat ears, framing the inscriptions 1 cent and United States of America, with E pluribus unum above. In good condition, this 1937 penny will retain most of its major design features, though it may show signs of light wear from circulation. Lincoln's profile will still be distinct, with clear detail in the hair and face. The date 1937 will be sharp and easy to read, and the word liberty to the left of Lincoln should also be visible, along with the phrase "in God we trust" along the upper rim. On the reverse, the two wheat ears will still be easily recognizable, though some of the finer lines may be slightly softened. The central text, 1 cent and United States of America, should be bold and readable. E pluribus unum at the top might show slight wear, but will still be present. The coin's edges should be intact, and there may still be some original color or light brown patina, Typical of copper coins of this age, a 1937 Lincoln wheat penny in good condition is common and not considered rare, but it is a solid example. From the pre-World War II era, its historical significance lies in its age and the fact that it circulated during a period of economic recovery in the United States. These coins were part of everyday transactions, carried by millions of Americans in a time before digital currency and modern coinage designs, though its numismatic value is modest, typically ranging from a few cents to over $1 depending on overall appeal and preservation. It is still an appreciated piece for beginners or anyone building a complete wheat penny collection. Its condition indicates that it has survived the test of time relatively well, and it remains a small but meaningful artifact of 20th century American coinage. The date 1937 will be sharp and easy to read, and the word liberty to the left of Lincoln should also be visible, along with the phrase "in God we trust" along the upper rim. On the reverse, the two wheat ears will still be easily recognizable, though some of the finer lines may be slightly softened. The central text, 1 cent and United States of America, should be bold and readable. E pluribus unum at the top might show slight wear, but will still be present. The coin's edges should be intact, and there may still be some original color or light brown patina. Typical of copper coins of this age, a 1937 Lincoln wheat penny in good condition is common and not considered rare, but it is a solid example. From the pre-World War II era, its historical significance lies in its age and the fact that it circulated during a period of economic recovery in the United States. These coins were part of everyday transactions, carried by millions of Americans in a time before digital currency and modern coinage designs, though its numismatic value is modest, typically ranging from a few cents to over $1 depending on overall appeal and preservation. It is still an appreciated piece for beginners or anyone building a complete wheat penny collection. The 1955 Lincoln wheat 1 cent coin, without a mint mark, is one of the most famous and talked about coins in U.S. numismatics, especially due to its well-known double die variant. While not all 1955 cents are the error variety, many collectors still find the year significant because of the attention it brought to minting anomalies and the appeal it adds to a collection. Struck at the Philadelphia Mint, the 1955 Lincoln cent features the classic wheat reverse, with 1 cent and United States of America between two stalks of wheat, and E pluribus unum along the top. The obverse displays Abraham Lincoln's portrait facing right, with the inscriptions "In God We Trust" along the top edge, "Liberty" on the left, and the date 1955 to the right. In circulated condition, like the coin you described, the coin will show wear and surface smoothness from years of handling. High points such as Lincoln's cheek, jaw, and hairline are typically the most worn. On the reverse, the wheat stalks lose much of their fine line detail, and lettering may appear dull, but should remain fully legible. Now, if the coin you have asterisk asterisk is asterisk asterisk the famous asterisk asterisk 1955 double die asterisk asterisk error, it would be clearly visible even in circulated condition. The doubling affects the entire date, and lettering on the obverse, "Liberty" and "In God We Trust" appear as if shadowed or duplicated. This is not a minor doubling or machine doubling, but a dramatic and unmistakable doubling caused by a die error, not a striking issue. If you suspect this doubling is present, your coin could be highly valuable, even in lower grades, often ranging from a few hundred to several $1,000s depending on condition and market demand. However, if it's a regular 1955 Lincoln cent without the double die error, the value is far more modest. In circulated condition, its market value is usually around 5 to 25 cents, though it still holds interest due to the year's association with the famous error. Collectors often look for 1955 cents just to check for this variety, so even regular examples get a little more attention than some other common date wheat cents. If your coin is circulated but you're unsure about the doubling, a magnifying glass or digital zoom may help. Look closely at the word "Liberty" and the date 1955. Those are the areas where the doubling is most obvious in genuine errors. Regardless of error status, a 1955 Lincoln wheat penny in circulated condition is a piece of American numismatic history. It marks the end of an era before the transition toward the Lincoln Memorial reverse in 1959. The 1930-60 Lincoln wheat penny was minted in Denver and bears the D mint mark just below the date on the obverse side. This coin is part of the wheat penny series, which was produced from 1909 through 1958. It features the familiar design by Victor David Brenner, with a profile portrait of Abraham Lincoln on the obverse and two stalks of wheat flanking the denomination on the reverse. In circulated condition, a 1930-60 penny shows evident signs of wear from being used in everyday commerce. The high points of the coin, particularly Lincoln's cheekbone, jawline, and hair details, are likely to be softened or worn. The inscriptions, such as "In God We Trust," "Liberty," and the date 1936 along with the D mint mark, should still be legible, although possibly a bit faded depending on the extent of wear. On the reverse side, the central text 1 cent and United States of America should still be visible and readable. The wheat stalks on either side may show smoothness or flattening due to circulation, but the outlines will likely remain discernible. The phrase "e pluribus unum" along the top edge might appear faint, though still present, being struck during the Great Depression era. The 1930-60 penny represents a period of economic hardship in American history, adding a layer of historical context to the coin. While not rare, it holds collectible interest, especially when part of a broader wheat penny set. In circulated condition, its value is modest, generally ranging from about 10 to 50 cents depending on the degree of wear. Higher grade examples can fetch more. Overall, despite its circulated state, this coin remains a tangible piece of U.S. history, reflecting both the artistry of early 20th century coinage and the daily life of Americans in the mid-1930s.
Next up we have
the 1946 Lincoln wheat 1 cent piece with a reported error and in circulated condition. This coin was minted at the San Francisco Mint, as indicated by the S mint mark. The 1946 wheat penny is part of the post-World War II series and saw a high production volume, with over 198 million coins minted that year in San Francisco alone. Despite the large mintage, error coins from this period, especially those from the San Francisco Mint, are of particular interest to collectors due to the range of anomalies that can occur during the minting process. Circulated condition means the coin has seen some use in commerce, showing wear on its surfaces. Typically, for a 1946 wheat cent in this grade, Lincoln's features like his cheek, jawline, and coat will be smoothed out or flattened. On the reverse, the wheat ears may be worn but are still identifiable. The coin will show signs of handling, including possible minor nicks, scratches, or toning, but should still be fully legible with a complete date and mint mark. The mention of an error with this coin suggests the presence of a mint-made anomaly. For 1946 Lincoln cents, common errors include repunched mint marks or pennies, die cracks, die chips, off-center strikes, and occasionally lamination errors. Repunched mint marks were relatively frequent at the San Francisco Mint during the 1940s. These occur when the mint mark was punched into the die more than once in slightly different locations, creating a doubling or shadow effect that is visible under magnification. Die cracks and chips happen when the die used to strike the coin begins to deteriorate or break down. These flaws can result in raised lines, cracks, or blobs chips on the coin's surface, most often seen near the lettering or Lincoln's head on the obverse, or along the wheat stalks on the reverse. Lamination errors, though less common, occur when there is a flaw in the metal alloy that causes the surface of the coin to peel or flake, revealing the layers of the planchet. These are more subtle and often mistaken for post-mint damage, so careful inspection is needed to verify their authenticity. Off-center strikes are another type of error that collectors seek. These occur when the coin blank is not properly aligned with the dies, causing the design to be struck off-center. The degree of off-centering can significantly affect value, especially if the date and mint mark remain visible. However, a mild, off-center strike in circulated condition may have modest value unless it's particularly dramatic. Circulated error coins like the 1946 cent provide insight into the imperfections of the minting process. While the coin may not be in a high grade, its historical value is enhanced by the presence of a mint-made error, especially if it is a variety recognized in major coin references like the Cherry Picker's Guide or by grading services such as PCGS or NGC. Submitting the coin for certification and error attribution can increase its desirability among collectors, particularly those who specialize in error varieties or San Francisco minted Lincoln cents. Collectors who focus on wheat pennies often build sets that include mint mark varieties and errors, making even common date coins valuable when they possess unique features. Although a standard 1946 cent in circulated condition may only be worth a few cents to a few dollars depending on where, one with a well-documented error can be worth significantly more, especially if it is a known RPM or dramatic strike issue. Documenting the coin carefully, examining it under magnification, and comparing it with verified listings of known errors is a helpful step before considering authentication. A coin like this offers both historical appeal and the intrigue of minting anomalies, adding depth to any collection of US 1 cent coins. The fact that it is still intact and identifiable after nearly 8 decades of circulation further adds to its narrative. The 1934 Lincoln wheat penny without a mint mark was produced at the Philadelphia Mint. It is part of the long-running wheat cent series that was minted from 1909 to 1958, featuring the iconic portrait of Abraham Lincoln on the obverse and the classic wheat stalks on the reverse. The lack of a mint mark below the date indicates it was struck in Philadelphia, which was standard practice at the time. In circulated condition, this coin shows visible wear from everyday use. On the obverse, Lincoln's facial features such as his jawline, cheek, and hair may be smoothed or flattened due to handling over the years. The inscriptions "In God We Trust," "Liberty," and the date 1934 are typically still readable, though they may appear worn. Small marks, nicks, or discoloration are common in coins that have been in circulation for many decades. The reverse side will still display the denomination 1 cent and the country name United States of America, though the letters might be slightly worn down. The two wheat stalks that curve along the edges of the coin might have lost some of their fine detail. The phrase pluribus unum across the top is often present, but may be faint depending on the amount of wear. The 1934 wheat penny had a large mintage with over 219 million coins struck in Philadelphia that year, making it a relatively common date for collectors. While it doesn't hold significant value in circulated condition, it remains a desirable addition to a wheat penny collection due to its age and historical context. Its value typically ranges from around 5 to 25 cents depending on the level of wear and appeal. As a coin minted during the Great Depression, it represents a period in U.S. history marked by economic hardship, unemployment, and major social and political changes. Even in circulated condition, the 1934 Lincoln wheat penny carries the weight of that era and continues to be appreciated by numismatists and history enthusiasts alike. Inscriptions "In God We Trust," "Liberty," and the date 1934 are typically still readable, though they may appear worn. Small marks, nicks, or discoloration are common in coins that have been in circulation for many decades. The reverse side will still display the denomination 1 cent and the country name United States of America, though the letters might be slightly worn down. The two wheat stalks that curve along the edges of the coin might have lost some of their fine detail. The phrase pluribus unum across the top is often present, but may be faint depending on the amount of wear. The 1934 wheat penny had a large mintage with over 219 million coins struck in Philadelphia that year, making it a relatively common date for collectors. While it doesn't hold significant value in circulated condition, it remains a desirable addition to a wheat penny collection due to its age and historical context.
Next up we have
The 1936 Lincoln wheat penny without a mint mark was struck at the Philadelphia Mint as part of the long-running wheat cent series produced from 1909 to 1958. This coin features Abraham Lincoln on the obverse and wheat stalks on the reverse, a design that became iconic in American coinage. The year 1936 saw high production volumes, with over 309 million coins minted in Philadelphia alone, making it one of the more common pre-1940 wheat pennies. In circulated condition, the coin typically shows moderate to heavy wear from years of handling. On the obverse, Abraham Lincoln's image remains visible, but with smoothing around the cheekbones, jawline, and hair details. The inscription "In God We Trust" along the top edge, Liberty to the left, and the date 1936 to the right remain clear, though they may be slightly worn or faint at the edges. The surface often shows small scratches, dullness, and minor discoloration, consistent with its age and usage. The reverse side features the classic wheat ears design, with the denomination 1 cent and the words United States of America in the center. The phrase "E pluribus unum" arches across the top. In a circulated coin from this era, the wheat stalks are likely worn down, especially at the tips, and the finer lines may no longer be well defined. Despite this, most of the text remains legible unless the coin has suffered heavy wear or corrosion, though not rare. The 1936 wheat penny is still popular among collectors due to its historical value and accessibility. In circulated condition, its value is typically modest, often between 5 and 20 cents, depending on the level of wear and overall appearance. However, it still holds value as part of a complete Lincoln cent collection and as a piece of American history. This coin serves as a tangible link to the pre-World War to United States. In 1936, the country was slowly recovering from the Great Depression under Franklin D. Roosevelt's leadership, and the penny would have been a daily part of life for millions of Americans during that period. Even in circulated condition, it carries a silent narrative of the era it came from. The next up coin, the 1909 Lincoln Wheat 1 cent coin, holds an important place in American numismatics as it was the first time a real historical figure, President Abraham Lincoln, appeared on circulating U.S. coinage. The Lincoln cent was introduced in 1909 to commemorate the 100th anniversary of Lincoln's birth. It replaced the Indian head cent, which had been in circulation since 1859, designed by Victor David Brenner. The coin featured Lincoln's portrait on the obverse, marking a new tradition in U.S. coin design. The 1909 Lincoln cent was minted in San Francisco and is considered a key date in the Lincoln Wheat cent series due to its relatively low mintage. Only 1,825,000 of these coins were produced, making them scarce compared to most other years. In addition to the regular 1909 cent, there is an even more desirable variety, the 1909 SVDB, which features the designer's initials prominently displayed on the reverse near the bottom rim between the two wheat ears. The inclusion of these initials led to public controversy, prompting the U.S. Mint to quickly remove them from the design. As a result, only 484,000 of the 1909 SVDB coins were minted, making it one of the most sought-after coins in American numismatics. A 1909 Lincoln cent in circulated condition is still valuable, especially if it retains good detail and has not been heavily damaged or cleaned. Collectors typically look for clear date and mint mark visibility, as well as an overall uniform tone and minimal signs of corrosion or environmental damage. In good condition, where Lincoln's image is worn but recognizable and all lettering is legible, the coin remains a prized collectible due to its historical and monetary value. Even coins in lower grades can attract significant attention if authentic. Error coins from this year and mint can further enhance collector interest. One known variety is the 1909 S with a repunched mint mark. This variety occurs when the S mint mark is struck more than once, creating a noticeable shadow or doubling effect visible under magnification. This error, while not extremely rare, is valued higher than the standard issue coin due to its uniqueness. Other minor errors such as die cracks, Planchette flaws, or off-center strikes, can also add to a coin's appeal, although they must be evaluated individually for their impact on market value. Because the 1909's Lincoln cent is both historic and relatively rare, counterfeits are unfortunately common. Altered coins, where mint marks are added to 1909 Philadelphia cents to simulate a San Francisco strike, appear regularly in the market. These counterfeit coins may fool the untrained eye, but experts can identify them by analyzing the shape, size, and placement of the mint mark. The genuine 1909's has specific characteristics, including a serifed mint mark that aligns with known authentic die varieties. Consulting a reputable grading service or coin expert is highly recommended to verify authenticity. If a 1909's Lincoln cent appears to have an error, such as an off-center strike, planchette flaw, or other mint-related issue, this could further elevate its value. Some collectors specialize in error coins and are willing to pay a premium for unusual or visually striking defects. However, condition still plays a major role. A heavily worn or damaged coin, even if it has an error, may not be as valuable as a well-preserved example. Coins graded and encapsulated by third-party grading services like PCGS or NGC often carry more value in the collector market due to the assurance of authenticity and condition. These companies use standardized grading scales, which help collectors and investors assess the coin's market potential. For a 1909's Lincoln cent, grading from a reputable service can make a significant difference in both resale value and beer trust. In summary, the 1909's Lincoln wheat cent is more than just a piece of copper. It represents a turning point in U.S. coinage and commemorates one of the nation's most revered presidents. With its low mintage, historical importance, and potential for error varieties, it remains a key date in the Lincoln series. Whether preserved in good condition, carrying a unique minting error, or simply representing an early and authentic piece of American coinage, the 1909's is a coin that tells a story of change, innovation, and national memory. As with all valuable coins, proper identification, authentication, and careful preservation are essential for appreciating its full worth in today's collecting world. The next coin is a 1951 Lincoln wheat 1 cent piece, noted as having an error and being in good condition. This coin, minted in Denver, is part of the iconic Lincoln wheat penny series that was produced from 1909 through 1958. Coins from the early 1950s are common in circulation, though errors from this period are of significant interest to collectors, especially when combined with a mint mark such as D, which indicates it was struck at the Denver Mint. Denver minted coins from the 1950s are known for their relatively high mintage numbers, with over 625 million produced in 1951 alone. Despite this high production, certain errors can turn otherwise common coins into pieces worthy of further examination or even submission to a grading service. The term error encompasses a wide range of potential anomalies, such as doubled dies, off-center strikes, clipped plankets, repunched mint marks or pennies, and die cracks. Among 1951 Lincoln wheat cents, one of the more commonly encountered and collected errors involves repunched mint marks. A repunched mint mark is a variety created when the mint mark was punched into the die more than once, resulting in visible doubling or overlapping. This type of error can usually be seen under magnification and is recognized by several listings and major coin references. In the case of the 1951 cent, multiple RPM varieties exist, making close inspection worthwhile. Another error occasionally seen on 1951 cents involves die breaks or die chips, often around Lincoln's hair or near the date or lettering. These types of errors result when the die used to strike the coin begins to fail, creating raised lines or blobs on the struck coin. These are generally considered minor errors, but can be desirable to collectors who specialize in die state progression or enjoy coins that tell a story through their imperfections. Other potential errors might include planchette flaws, where a defect in the blank metal disc causes an irregularity in the final coin's surface or edge. If the coin shows signs of lamination, peeling, cracks, or unusual surface textures, it could point to such a defect. Coins in good condition generally retain all their major design elements, though they show clear signs of wear. On a good-grade Lincoln wheat cent, the details of Lincoln's bust are smoothed out, particularly around the cheek, jawline, and hair. The wheat ears on the reverse may be worn down, but the overall design is still distinguishable. A coin in this grade is still perfectly collectible, especially when an error is present. While the coin may lack the sharpness of a higher-grade specimen, it retains its full date, mint mark, and basic devices, allowing for identification and error verification when evaluating whether the 1951 decents error adds significant value. It is essential to verify whether the error was the result of a true mint mistake or occurred after the coin left the mint. Post-mint damage, such as scratches, dents, or environmental wear, is not considered an error in numismatic terms. A true mint error must result from the coin's production process and be present at the time of minting. This is why detailed inspection using a loupe or microscope is essential, and where possible, comparison to error catalog references can help determine if the anomaly is known and documented. For collectors interested in error coins, a verified mint error from the 1950s is a solid addition to any set. The Lincoln Cent series is widely collected, and even coins from high mintage years like 1951 can become sought after if they contain notable errors. Although the coin is listed as being in good condition, the presence of an error can elevate its interest and potential market value. While it may not command a premium, high as higher-grade specimens with dramatic errors, it still holds educational and collecting value, particularly for those who appreciate anomalies from within the same date and mint series. If the error is visible and substantial, submitting the coin for authentication and attribution by a professional grading company can enhance its credibility and desirability among collectors. Coins that are encapsulated and certified as containing a genuine mint error generally trade at stronger prices than raw examples. Additionally, once certified, the coin becomes part of the official numismatic record, which adds a layer of recognition and security for future resale or trade. In conclusion, the 1951 Lincoln wheat cent with a reported error and good overall condition offers another compelling example within the historical and collecting narrative of U.S. small cents. It embodies the characteristics of post-war American coinage, produced during a period of increasing mechanization and minting output, where occasional imperfections made their way into circulation. These errors now serve as fascinating reminders of the intricacies involved in the minting process and provide collectors with countless opportunities for discovery and education. Next coin is a 1920 Lincoln wheat 1 cent piece featuring an error and lacking a visible mint mark, with the coin reported to be in good condition. This coin is among the most famous and valuable error coins in the entire Lincoln Cent series. The 1920 Lincoln Cent is not just a curiosity, it is a celebrated numismatic variety highly sought after by collectors. All Lincoln Cents minted in 1922 were produced at the Denver Mint and should normally bear a D mint mark. However, due to excessive die polishing on a worn die, the D mint mark on some coins was accidentally removed or rendered faint to the point of invisibility. This created what is now widely known as the 1920 no D cent. In general, the Denver Mint struck around 7.16 million Lincoln Cents in 1922, a notably low mintage compared to other years. Because Philadelphia and San Francisco did not mint cents that year, all 1920 pennies are supposed to carry the D mint mark. However, in some rare cases, die erosion and overpolishing caused the mint mark to disappear completely. These specific error coins became instantly popular and have remained desirable in all grades. The key to confirming this error lies in more than just the absence of a mint mark. The reverse design must match the known characteristics of the strong reverse variety, which features bold, well-defined wheat stalks and sharp lettering, distinguishing it from the weaker strikes typical of the Dender mint that year. In good condition, the coin will show moderate to heavy circulation wear. Lincoln's portrait will have visible flattening around the cheeks, jawline, and possibly the hair. The date and Liberty inscription should still be readable, and the reverse. Wheat stalks will be present, although the fine lines may be faint. Even in this worn condition, if the mint mark is truly missing and the reverse matches the known strong die characteristics, this coin is considered one of the key dates of the entire Lincoln wheat penny collection. Because the 1920 to no D error cent is often counterfeited or confused with altered coins where the mint mark was intentionally removed, authenticity is crucial. Many of these fakes are created by filing off the mint mark from a regular 1920 to D cent. Expert confirmation from a reputable grading service like PCGS, NGC, or NX is essential to verify the coin's legitimacy and assign it the correct variety designation. Third-party grading also provides insight into the coin's market value, which can range from a few $100s in lower grades to several $1,000s in better preserved examples. In addition to the most famous no D, strong reverse variety, there are several die pairings for the 1920 to cent that show different characteristics. Die pair 2 shows a weak reverse, die pair 3 is the rare strong reverse with no D, and die pair 1 has a visible but faint D mint mark. Collectors and specialists use die marker small details on the coin's surface to determine which die pairing the coin belongs to. These distinctions significantly affect the coin's rarity and value. The historical context of the 1920 to no D cent adds further interest. The early 1920s were a period of production challenges for the U.S. Mint, with reduced coinage and die were becoming more common, especially in branch mints like Denver. The fact that this particular era came to light and was preserved by alert collectors speaks to the increasing sophistication of coin collecting in the early 20th century. For many hobbyists, owning a 1920 to no D cent is considered a pinnacle achievement in assembling a complete Lincoln wheat cent set because of its prestige. This coin often appears in major auctions and is featured in coin reference books and era coin guides. Even circulated examples with solid attribution command significant premiums. Its appeal is not limited to era collectors. General U.S. coin collectors and Lincoln cent specialists also pursue this variety to complete their collections. As such, the 1920 to no D cent continues to be one of the most talked about coins in U.S. numismatics, embodying both rarity and mystery in a small copper package. Overall, this coin, in good condition, still holds considerable historical and collectible value, especially if verified as a true 1920 to no D error with strong reverse features. Its story represents the broader appeal of numismatics, where production mishaps transform ordinary coins into legendary treasures.